G'day and welcome to a new series where I will be going through each of the 2018 World Cup groups from A to H and seeing how they'll compete against each other in the Premier League against all the other teams, and seeing which of the four teams will have the most points. After the season is done, we'll check the table and the scoring will be done like this. If a team comes first, they'll get 20 points, if they come second they'll get 19 points, and so on all the way down to 20th, who will get 1 point. To make it a bit more interesting, for each cup competition, if they make it to the quarterfinal they'll get 1 point, 3 points will make it to the semis, 5 points will lose in the final, and if you win the cup you get 10 points. Hopefully this isn't too confusing. So in Group A we have Saudi Arabia, Russia, Egypt and Uruguay. I've used 4 of the weaker teams in the Prem and allocated 1 country to each. And for each team I've gone for FIFA rating for the players rather than the squads they'll probably be using. So the Egypt team I've put in Bournemouth, and the players to watch out for there is Salah and El Neni, who I think will be the main men of this team. I've put the Russians into Brighton, and I don't know too much about this team. All I know is that Mamaev has a neck tattoo, so you better watch the fuck out for him. I've put the Saudi Arabians into Huddersfield. I don't know too much about this team except that their right winger Al Mawalid has 93 acceleration, 93 sprint speed, so he's quite rapid. And finally I've put the Uruguayans into the Newcastle team, and I expect these guys to come out on top with the likes of Cavani, Suarez and Godin in the team. So I've decided to go for a neutral team that I knew wouldn't get relegated, so I've gone as Man City, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to go into the calendar and I'm going to go to simulate to each game, so play each team once, and then I'll just skip to the end of the season once I've done that and see how they all get on. Right, so first game of the season is against Brighton, and we'll go through this simulation of the game and see how we get on. Not that it really matters, but it's just interesting to see how Brighton line up and how they play and how they get on. Oh, nicked the win. Look at that. Good start there for the Russians. So the next game is against the Egyptians, and in the first 2 games they've had a draw and a loss, so not the greatest start. And we'll see how they get on against Man City. So Salah scores first. Good lead there for Bournemouth, or for Egypt should I say. 1-1 for Man City, 2-1 for Bournemouth. So the Egyptians get a win against the league, or the real life league leaders. Alright, so we'll see who we have next. So the final game of the 4 is against the Uruguayans. 1-0 Man City, another loss for for the Uruguayans. It's not shaping up well for these guys. We'll skip to the end of the season and see how they got on. We'll do a quick points tally to see which of the 4 teams did the best. So if we go into the table, what have we got? So we have Newcastle, so that's Uruguay in 15th. We have Brighton, which is Russia in 17th. Huddersfield in 19th, which is the Saudi Arabians, and we have Bournemouth, which is Egypt, in dead last. So we have 6 points for Uruguay, we have 4 points for Russia, we have 2 points for Saudi Arabia and 1 point for Egypt. And now, with such a lack of points, I think the cup competitions are going to be the real tellers. So to the tables. FA Cup, who we got? Anyone? Ooh, Huddersfield round 16, that's nothing. So we got none in there. What about Carabao Cup? Oh, Egypt lost the final, so that is 5 points. And we've got Brighton made it to the quarters, so that's 1 point for Russia. We've got anyone else? No, I think that's it. So the final points tally is, we have Uruguay on 6, Russia on 5, Saudi Arabia on 2 and Egypt on 6. So the 2 teams going through to the next stage of the World Cup, Uruguay and Egypt. Right, so the plan for the rest of this is to go through each group one by one, progressing the 2 teams for each through to the knockout stage, so the 2 winning teams for each through to the knockout stage, and do something similar to what we've done here, but in the knockout version of it. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Cheers.